Ho ho, hold up. All right, we're going. It's
25 Slaves of Christmas.
ho ho ho, boys and girls. It's the 25 Slays of Christmas. Slay
Yeah.
20. We're in the home stretch, man.
We are in the home
The home
stretch.
stretch, Slay 20, as promised. We came back to Black Christmas. We finished it out. We did
Black
Black
Christmas
Christmas
'06.
'06. I think we got that time.
'06.
We were real on sync that time.
We were.
I did the same thing with this one as I did the last Black Christmas, where I do not have a score written down because I feel like we're going to need to talk about this before I decide
This one is a
on the
bit
final.
different. It's a bit different, right?
So, like, we've done the other two now in an interesting
Yeah.
order. I feel we did 2019 first, 74 at the beginning of the week, and now we're capping it off with '06. 19 had no mystery at all. 74 had so much goddamn mystery that I just didn't care for it. And I even said in that last video, I said maybe there will be a sweet spot in
Yeah.
'06, and there is, but I don't know if it was a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd call it a sweet spot. I'd say that it definitely leveled out the mystery gauge, but I don't know if it was a good thing. I don't know if I liked the changes in this one.
I don't really. The only thing is, like, why did you make Billy yellow?
What did somebody fucking see Sin City like the year before and was like, I want to do that? I Because
Right.
as soon as I saw that first scene where they show Billy as a baby and they're like, and his skin was yellow, I'm like, that's the
His
yellow
skin
bastard
is
from Sin City.
yellow. Yeah, I know.
Straight up Sin City, ripped straight from Sin City. This as opposed to the 2019 is it sticks pretty close to the original as far as it takes place in a sorority house. It drops you right in, just like the original. I got a little confused though on the order of events sometimes. Like, well, no. Now that I'm thinking about it, I guess it makes sense. Because I was like,
They make it pretty clear that he's in the house, like all in the house.
well, that's just it. I'm thinking, is he in the house? Because it shows him in the house or what, or it shows him in the house, like, killing the first chick, just like in the original movie. And then it keeps going back to the mental asylum, which, like, literally what I said about the '74 one when I was like, I would have accepted the whole, oh, an escaped mental patient from the asylum, like literally what they did in this. Like they literally just did exactly that. I don't know, man. I don't know how I felt about this one, for real.
It had some really good kills, but
Yeah.
it felt like it was that felt like Gossip Girl. Really felt like I was watching an episode of Gossip Girl while I watched this, because it was like, is this the same cast?
Well, it did have a lot of. I mean, I love Michelle Trachtenberg. I mean, if you grew up in the '90s, 2000s, and didn't have a crush on Michelle Trachtenberg, she was
I
awesome. Buffy
Yeah,
the Vampire Slayer, and she was in some
I f-
other
I
shit.
feel like this was like an A-list cast of like actresses that was like big names, like when we
I
was younger.
Yeah, and Mary Elizabeth Winstead is in
I
this
mean, they
too.
still are.
And I really enjoy her. She's still probably the biggest of that cast. The house mother in this is played by Phil from the original movie, so that was cool. I was like, all right,
Noise.
that's a
Noise.
nice little callback. This poor dude though, this guy that directed the movie, his movie prior to that, it was a movie called Willard, which I have not seen, but apparently it bombed real hard. And so before he did this movie, he said, if this bombs hard, I'm never going to direct another movie again. And he didn't. He never directed another movie again after this.
Because
He
yeah,
directed a few episodes of like the X Files, I believe, or something like that, but he never directed another movie again. And
props to him then, man. Man of his word.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Good for you, man, for sticking to that. Or unless you got like outed from Hollywood for your movie.
Unless
Uh,
they was like, fuck you, in
the
which case
slasher
that
shit was
sucks.
pretty decent for sure. I dug the
Yeah.
slasher bits. I mean, the kills were dope, but it was the story elements that I was just like, this
Well,
isn't what I meant. This isn't what I meant after watching the '74 one, and I wanted like extra details. I didn't mean just start making shit up, like obviously
oh,
you're gonna have to, but like just adding like the thing about the sister, and now there's like two killers and like all this other shit, like
it's not
him
even the
in the
sister. Like
eye.
he's clearly the father.
It's both, remember? It's a little incest action, which
Oh
also I was
yeah.
like, what the fuck? That kind of threw me off too. So it's like, so the mom is going to rape the little boy. I guess he was like, what, 12, 13 at the time?
Probably
The flashbacks were weird, like throughout the movie. That was kind of an odd choice as well.
everything was weird
They took
about this
everything
movie.
like that was about that first one, and they definitely, I don't know, they just made a lot of really odd choices. Definitely did a better job at like with the kills and stuff. Offered a lot more there, but I mean it was 2006. I want to say that this might be my least favorite of the three.
Least favorite of the three, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
Fair. I remember watching this one originally. Every time I see a Christmas movie now, that's the movie I think of every
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Ever since I've seen it. So it's not terrible for me.
Hmm.
It wasn't a bad rewatch, I wouldn't say, but it was definitely one of those movies I was just like, meh. It was a product of its time for sure.
Definitely, definitely. That's a great way to put it. It was definitely an '06 remake.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. I feel like I feel like a year later, Rob Zombie would do what this movie tried to do much better, in my opinion, as
Oh
far as
yeah.
like trying to give backstory to this like killer. And something that they used very sparingly, which was one of my like more favorite parts of the original, was when you just see like Billy's eye in the crack of the door. That was like bone chilling shit. Like I really enjoyed that in the original, but oh my god, they beat that to death in this movie. Like they fucking constantly just that little
There,
yellow
there,
fucking
the one that always gets me is when the girl's in the shower and you see the little tile click up and he's just eyeball.
two tiles, because there's the first one that she fucking picks up, and then you see the other one because he's got to move over so you can see her in the shower. I'm just like,
Yeah.
that's just uh, it's one of those things. I was actually thinking about this earlier, and it's kind of what we were saying about sleigh bells and how we're kind of fucking sick of this. I was feeling the same way doing my 31 days of Halloween. There's a good reason you should diversify your watch list
Oh,
and not
most
just watch
definitely.
the same shit all the time, because then you start becoming too wise to how it all works, and it really takes it out of everything. So like, by the time this was the 20th movie, 20 movies in, like, oh my god, we've seen so many fucking tropes recycled over and over again, that
Over and
like
over.
it's just so easy to pinpoint exactly what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and all that shit. I did like the cast, I did like the kills. A few of them are definitely going to make the old slays of the week, I think.
Most definitely. Most
Definitely a product
definitely.
of its time.
Definitely is, man. And like I was saying earlier, I don't really think it's that bad of a movie.
Oh,
Uh,
I don't think it's bad
there's there's
necessarily.
definitely a few of the callbacks I saw to the first one that I
Mhm.
was like, okay, it
Yeah.
doesn't really try to be its own. Like it tries to be a sequel, but not really. I feel like.
Yeah, I think what you're just saying there, like it didn't really try to be its own thing all the way.
But
Like it definitely
it
tried
kind
to.
of did.
And I saw somebody say something about the 2019, because the 2019 one just gets ripped like all the time. And I swear to God, it's just because of the feminist thing. Like I think it's just because of
I
the
would agree
feminist
because I
angle. I
think
think people just tear it apart. You know.
I would say that one would probably have been my favorite one out of all three of these. Easy.
Absolutely, which is definitely obviously the unpopular opinion. But I can agree, because we've said before in the other reviews that I could see where somebody who was a fan of the original, and had seen that and even seen this one, and went into the 2019 one expecting that again and didn't get that. And I saw somebody say, "Oh, it's nothing like the other ones. It's just using the name to get people to watch it." And it's just like, well, no, it's still Black Christmas, it's still the sorority thing, it's still and now I want to go back and watch the 2019 one again, having watched all of them. I'd like to go back and revisit it now, having seen all of them, and see kind of what the new version does take from the original. I definitely think seeing that one first helped my opinion on it, but at the same time, I don't think it would have changed the fact that it's my favorite of the three. Because
Yeah,
you can't compare
most
it.
definitely.
You can't compare remakes and shit like that all the time. Like, that's not a good way to judge a movie. You got to judge it on its own merits. Like, if you're trying to compare something to the classic that it's based off of, then yes, it's probably not going to hold up. you
It's
know,
gonna fail.
I'm looking at
Newsflash.
you, everybody who shits on Rob Zombie's Halloween. It's just like they're different movies, man. Like he's not trying. It's called Rob Zombie's apostrophe S Halloween. It's not John Carpenter's Halloween. That's a very
I
different
liked
thing, you know?
I liked his shit. I liked his shit. So
Yeah.
I was one of the few.
Yeah. I still like his shit. I still fuck with Rob Zombie. Even when
Me too.
he doesn't put out the best shit. I still fuck with him.
So what are you gonna think? What are you gonna break it down and give it a score of?
Oh man, well let me see here because I gave the OG a 6.5. I gave the 2019 an 8. So I'm gonna have to say for this one, I don't know. I guess maybe I don't know.
You
What's
want to?
yours? Let's
I
hear
was
yours first.
I know you were about to say it, and I'm gonna say it because I think it ends in the same year this came out in a 6. You know what I'm saying? I
I
feel like this was definitely a 6. It's not terrible, but it's nothing that you're gonna watch and be like, damn, that was a dope ass movie. You know what I mean?
right. Yeah.
Got some weird moments, weird
Just weird
concepts.
shit, just weird choices, man. Just weird choices throughout this whole movie. Like I said, as a horror fan, I definitely liked the kills in this one. Like,
Loved them.
but I think there's a better remake there somewhere. Like if they had blended some of the the brutality of the '06 with like the intrigue and mystery and like suspense of the original, I think you'd have a pretty good setup there. But yeah, 2019 is still my favorite, and I'm gonna have to agree on a 6 out of 10 for this one.
Word.
Yeah,
That's what's up, man. Yeah, it's got to be a 6. Like I said, I definitely think so, man. Take the yellow away from his skin. Just make him a kid that had some abusive ass parents.
yeah,
Uh, and have it so the cops come in there, arrest his parents, take him
mhm,
away. The house is up for auction. The college buys it. It becomes a sorority house. He breaks out of a mental institution, sneaks in.
yeah. We didn't need
Bada
all that
boom.
other shit.
Yeah. Bada boom. Little backstory. You could probably take about 5 to 10 minutes in the beginning of the movie, then get right into meeting all the girl characters. They're about to go home for Christmas. This
Mhm.
guy comes home. You have a Michael Myers-esque movie right there on your hands,
Yeah,
just waiting. Just
yeah.
waiting.
But fuck it, we got Blumhouse's Black Christmas now, and if you don't like it, then sorry about you,
Sorry about
because
you.
that's gonna be our pick as far as the trio of Black Christmases
Yeah.
go.
Out of the 3, that's the one. If anybody asked me, I'd recommend easily.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, man.
Well,
Well,
that's we're heading into the week of Christmas now.
week of Christmas. So we
As
got some
things
jolly
go,
ones.
if you're not already listening to us on Spotify, you should. If you haven't liked and subscribed, you should. If you're not telling people about us, you should.
And you can visit the website, chaseandshep.com. Actually,
chaseandshep.com. It's up,
a
it's running. It's under construction a little bit, but
little bit. It's
otherwise,
gonna get filled out over these days. You'll see. You'll see. It'll just pop up at you.
yeah. And with the week ahead, well, actually, I was getting ready to say something that was going to be out prior to this video, so never mind. The goodies have probably already arrived.
That is a very good point. And at this point, I guess the next thing we'd be going into will be the slays list. We'll catch you with the top slays of this past week. It's been a milder week in the slays,
Yeah,
I'd say, but we still found us 3 that we thought were fucking decent enough to make that list. Don't worry.
don't worry. We'll
We're gonna go
with
check
the
those.
week of Christmas, we'll be dropping quite at least a few bonuses on you for
Yeah,
sure
a lot of bonuses. A lot of
before we head
bonuses.
into old season 2 of Chase and Shep.
Hey, peace, y'all.